So I posted on the community tab on our YouTube channel, what did you want inspiration on for documenting everyday things? And the thing that won was running errands. So I'm taking you all out on a errand trip with Gary. But before I whipped out my phone, decided to record this, I was like, okay, there's two ways that I could approach this. I could either make a journaling kit that you could take with you on the go to document as you're running your errands. But then I was like, I don't do that. I've never done that. I don't take my journal out with me when I'm running errands because I just want it to be in and out, you know? So instead, in this video, I am gonna share some tips on how to document your experience with your phone and then take it back to the craft room and collage some pages. So now we're going to the mall to get some lunch. I'm not recording on like my fancy camera that I usually use. Instead, I'm recording on my phone because I was too afraid to take my camera out and have people looking at me like, what are you doing? So I apologize if this doesn't look great, but here we are. The first tip that I like to share is to leverage the Notes app on your phone to write out quick observations or thoughts that are relevant to where you are in your situation. Think of yourself as a reporter. The details that you capture will bring your page to life. When I'm out running errands, I'm focused on the task and trying to be as quick and efficient as possible. But sometimes there's a gorgeous flower bush that I'll notice or overhear a sweet conversation between a toddler and their parent. And those instances take me out of my head and into the present. Those triggers, such as the flower bush and a human interaction, are things you want to jot down. Anything that makes you pause and notice should be recorded. This is a practice that writers are familiar with. They'll write down the details of a person, an interaction or conversation or space that makes them take pause and want to notice. Those notes will often find their way into a story, making for a richer world. Creative journaling artists aren't writing a traditional story, but we can use this practice of note-taking to inspire the composition of a collage, materials, subject, or colors we choose to use in our journal spreads. Sometimes you can't find the words to describe what you're seeing, and some things are remembered better as they are, not filtered through language. My next tip is to whip out your phone and just start recording. This exercise is great when you're looking for pattern or layer ideas. So for example, I recorded the ground that was speckled with dried globs of chewing gum. This could serve as inspiration for a base on a collage. I also recorded the sliding doors, which could be an interesting interactive layer recreated with paper. Notice the architecture of the space that you're in to find an interesting curve or angle or column that you could use to frame your page. Notice the way clothing are constructed, how fabric hangs when pleated, tucked, and manipulated. These are the things that you can take back to your craft desk and experiment with. While Gary is going to look for his phone cord, let's check out the paper aisle. So when I first started scrapbooking and doing junk journaling, I would have been pining over all of these beautiful papers, but honestly, I feel like I find more creativity using just recycled material. So now when I come into stores like these, I just kind of use them as like sources of inspiration, not as places that tempt me to spend more than I need to. You have to be a little creative when collecting ephemera on your shopping trip. Oftentimes, you're visiting grocery stores and common shops that don't offer much beyond a receipt to memorialize that you were there. So my next tip is about what ephemera you can collect. This is kind of a double-edged sword, but consumerism creates a lot of materials. Bad for the environment, good for the junk journalists. And the grocery store is an awesome place for labels, tags, and packaging that can be repurposed for any part of a junk journal or creative journal, from binding to collaging. Pictures are an obvious bit of ephemera that you can collect. Take pictures of things that interest you and print them out to use later. But my pro tip is to not even fuss with actually taking a photo. Instead, just record a video. It can take a lot of time framing up a shot or finding a subject that you want to capture. So video makes it so much easier. I mean, video is made up of many little frames per second. So taking 5 seconds of video means that you have at least 100 pictures to choose from. When you're home, just pause on a section of the video that looks interesting to you and take a screenshot. Another good place to collect ephemera is at the checkout line. Most stores will offer promotional print materials and freebies that are heavily designed, and you can use them in your journals. Clothing and fashion stores often have the most aesthetic and interesting pieces of material, so you'll probably be better off finding those print pieces at clothing stores. Here we are, back home, many days after recording that video. I hope that you all found those tips helpful and that you'll incorporate some of those things in your next day of running errands, and that you will take inspiration from just everyday life and the materials that you come across to use in your journals to document your actual life. There are only a few days left to submit to the Archivist, an anthology for creative journaling artists. So if you are interested in seeing your journal pages in print, bound into an actual book, please submit. The submissions close June 1st, but you know, if some trickle in a little after that due date, we're not gonna be like, no! We really want to see your art, and the theme for that anthology is documenting everyday things, celebrating everyday things. So if you have any work that fits in that theme or are planning on completing a page that fits within that, please consider submitting to us. Again, you can find the submission details below, and I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, so I want to show you the coat that I got from the estate sale. I feel like I never win anything. So this time
you
I
won me.
Oh, I did win you. But check this thing out. Hello, I am Miss Moneybags.
Look at this.
I don't need your commentary, you popper. Take me home, Gary. Take me home.